Today I'm going to demonstrate regular backstitch for embroidery and whipped backstitch. So on the top here you have regular backstitch, which looks like a dashed line, and below it is a whipped backstitch where the whipping is basically covering those breaks in the line to create a smooth line. So I'm going to demonstrate on this bottom line here. So first, to do a regular backstitch, you're going to come up from below your fabric at the start of the line, go forward one regular stitch length, and then go forward from the bottom one stitch length, an equal amount, and you're going to come up at that point one stitch length away from where you ended. And it's a back stitch because we're moving backwards, so you want to go back and go down where the first stitch ended. Pull that taut. And again, from below, we're going to come up about a stitch length away and go back to go down at the end of the previous stitch. We're going to keep doing that until the end of the line. Here I'm using 3 strands of just a regular DMC embroidery floss. And you can get obviously lines of different width depending on how many strands you use. But always you're coming up a stitch length away, and then you're going back down at the end of the previous stitch. If you're doing regular backstitch and you're going to leave it this way, it really helps to try to be precise as much as you can and make all your stitches even lengths. I'm just going to do 2 more here. Up a stitch length away, down at the end of the previous stitch. This is a really common stitch used for outlines, line work, text, all kinds of things. Okay, last stitch, I'm going to go down at the end. And if you're doing regular backstitch, yay, you're done. That's all there is to it. But I'm going to continue here to show you how to turn that into whipped backstitch if that's what your pattern or your desire calls for. So you remember we just ended by coming down here at the beginning of the last stitch. I'm going to come up right at the end of that stitch to just tighten up that last stitch so that they're all kind of equally taut. Now for backstitch, we've been coming up and down through the fabric, but for whipping it, you're staying on top of the fabric. So we're not going to poke through. We're going to slide our needle horizontally like this under that last stitch and just pull it through, taut but not tight. Again, we're going to slide it through horizontally and just keep doing that to whip your thread through the back stitches that you already created. And you can see that the ones that we haven't done looked dashed, and it's starting to smooth out where we've whipped through. And you can notice that I'm always coming through in a consistent direction. My needle is always coming from the bottom or from close to me up so that all of your whipping is nice and consistent. 2 more. Let me get that out of the way so that you can see I'm not doing anything tricky. It is literally just come up horizontally to slide under the stitch that you have there. And I'm at the end of the line, so I'm just going to go back down through my fabric. And that's it. So that is regular backstitch, which looks dashed, and then both of these now have been turned into whipped backstitch, which looks smooth. That's it. Thank you very much for watching.